Hello, my name is Jaden, and this is my brother's story. He was diagnosed with spinal muscular atrophy when he was just 1 year old. But I don't know what that means. The doctors told my parents that he would have difficulty moving, eating, and breathing. They told my parents he would not live past 2 years old. But my parents never stopped fighting for him. My parents loved us, cared for us, and watched over us. Branden made many friends, and I made many happy memories. I know it is hard for my family, but knowing that they are not alone means that there is hope. And while there is hope, we will keep supporting one another.
I got a second son to have a happy life.
Rare disease is not just a health concern, but it brings into focus a lot of the other things that are needed. Education, employment, stigmatization, inclusion, accessibility, all these other aspects that needs a really whole of government, whole of society approach. In order to give the chance for a patient with SMA to be able to choose a life which they want, which is dignified.
He lived a decade longer than what he was expected medically. SMA does not define him. He is defined, however, by the society, people like you and me, on what he can and he can't achieve. Our family survived the first few critical years. Why the family? Because SMA is just not about Branden. It's about all of us in the family. When he was 6 years old, we visited 5 schools. With every visit, we were expecting a yes from the principal that he can join the school, but our wish never came true. With every visit, Branden will ask me, "Mommy, why can't I go to school like brother and other kids? Is it because they don't like me? Am I not good enough?" Now, how will you answer his question? In the last 10 years, there have been many questions on why can't I get this, why can't I do this. In Branden's life, we have to fight for everything, not just for him to survive his rare disease, but everything in life. Living with rare disease is already hard enough for the family, but living to be included for Branden is even harder. Now I have a question for you. Can we do better and more for people living with rare disease?
My name is Christine Mutena, and I'm a mom to 2 children with different rare conditions, namely MCM and ring 18 chromosome.
Hello, I'm Rosalyn Odero. I have a child with Joubert syndrome. As you might have guessed, having a rare disease affects you more than your healthcare. It affects your employment, education, and even your social standing and how you relate with the community. In this part of the world, having people with or children with rare diseases, it means that the society looks at you in a different way. They think that you're the caste. So there's that stigma and constantly being excluded from the society.
From a personal perspective, we find that most caregivers, primary caregivers, are mothers. And in the employment sector, you find that a lot of women are unemployed because they can't hold a job, either because they are taking their kids to hospital too often, or even if you're the adult living with a rare disease, you have to take time off to take care of yourself.
Having a UN resolution for rare diseases means that as a country, we can adopt these policies that will make a meaningful change for people living with rare diseases.
We as Rare Disorders Kenya support the UN resolution for rare diseases.
Hello, my name is Sharifa and I'm from Kuwait. In 2015, my son was diagnosed with a rare disease called spinal muscular atrophy, or SMA for short. He was about a year and a half back then when I found out it was a terminal disorder and that he would most likely die of respiratory failure. But now, Nasser is almost 8 years old and is a bright, intelligent boy who is sociable and goes to mainstream school. He loves his friends and, like many other kids his age, loves playing Nintendo. And let me tell you that getting to where we are now was an intense struggle, and we continue to fight every day to keep him in good health, provide him with a good education, one in which he could feel and be equal to his peers, and to ensure that he gets all his basic needs and rights as an individual. I also chose this school because none of the other mainstream schools accepted him as a wheelchair user with health concerns related to his condition. It hurt me that he was rejected by several schools, and to me, I could only see my son thrive in an inclusive educational environment. Inclusivity from childhood will greatly impact future generations. It teaches children compassion and responsibility to care for their rare peers while enabling our rare children to become a productive part of society. Children like Nasser have great potential and should not be dismissed or marginalized. Inclusion is not just for education, but for all aspects of everyday life. I would like to draw particular attention to how the pandemic has affected us as a family. The isolation and fear that a lot have experienced the past year and a half is something we were already living in pre-pandemic. So imagine what this pandemic has done to us in terms of fear and isolation.
Hello, I'm Eva, and this here, if you can see it, is my son, Pepin. Pepin is turning 13 this year, and he's very proud of becoming a teenager. He has tuberous sclerosis complex, a rare genetic condition, and TSC is about as multisystemic as multisystemic can be. Pepin's condition prevents both my husband and I from working full-time. And during Corona, the combination of having him in the house 24/7 without any assistance or relief has had a staggering impact on our stress levels. I'm strongly connected to the global TSC community, and from that point of view, I know how immensely lucky we are to have a child with TSC and live in Belgium. The doctors we consult are connected to a TSC global network. We have affordable access to the right set of preventive checkups. We get to address Pepin's symptoms before they grow to be life-threatening. And we actually found a school that has accepted the challenge of setting up an adapted program. It's really scary to realize that the majority of people living with TSC throughout the world do not have access to many of these things.
Everyone, I'm Juliana, and by the healthy looking cheeks, no one could possibly imagine that I have a rare and debilitating condition called scleroderma. Invisible and rare illnesses like mine are a hard storm to navigate. I can summon this up by one horrible word that is what describes most of my feelings: abandonment. Most rare diseases are from the get-go. Well, most, not all. And the predominance of scleroderma are women at their prime, 30 to 50 years of age. But it can affect kids, the young, the older, male or female. It really doesn't discriminate, nor has boundaries. It is a global thing. I'm 47 now. I got the first amended diagnosis back in 2015. I saw my world as I knew it collapsing around me. No one is prepared for this type of storm, and I want to say my sincerest admiration for those who came before me and took action, persevered, and fought for public policies, access to treatment and medication, exams, specialists, to name a few. I can't imagine how it was before because we still have so much to accomplish. All aspects of my life were changed. Some ceased to exist. The rapid set of symptoms does not accompany the amount of help offered. I lost everything except my will to live and to fight. I found myself alone, looking for help, looking for answers, looking for support groups, and so much more. It is really a crash course on survival. I lost my job, I lost my 20-year marriage, I lost all of my material belongings. I lost family members. The weakest links were the first to break apart. I always have been so productive as a member of society and in my family, within my profession, and in a couple of months, everything was gone. So we rare patients ask for you support on this ongoing battle for access and rights to better accommodating public policies that will grant these patients and families the help that they so much need. Thank you.